Currently, I'm working as an imaging scientist, focusing with MRI in Calico. So as a MRI scientist, I need to know like how exactly MRI works and how exactly the principles behind the MRI works, and then a little bit of spin physics too. And we've been doing MRI on animals because I'm a preclinical imaging scientist. So I need to know like a little bit of biology behind it. The biggest skills which I acquired during my BSMS or like during the my PhD or in the postdoc was like learning how MRI works was like the very important skill which I acquired during this whole journey. And then because of my chemistry and biology background, it's a very important, because when you look at any biological problem, you can target by using like some sort of sensors. So ideally, if you want to understand a little bit background behind it, you need to have a knowledge in like either like in chemistry or in biology.
All right. Hello and welcome everyone to the PhD talk show by Biopatrika. I am Sayani, your host for today's session, and today we have Dr. Deva Nishanth, who is an imaging scientist at Calico Life Sciences, here with us to share his academic and scientific journey so far. So, welcome to the show, Nishanth, and thank you so much for taking out time from your schedule and sharing some insights from your journey. So thanks a
Thanks,
lot for
Shani.
that.
Thanks for the invite.
So let's begin with our conversation, and it's mostly going to be a conversation. So I was curious about where you come from. I know you're from India, and so if you can walk us through your academic and career journey so far, that'll be great.
Yeah, as you told, like I'm from India, but I born in South Indian state called Andhra Pradesh. So after I finished my 12th grade, I was admitted to ISET Pune as a BSMS student, integrated BSMS program student. And then that's where my whole academic journey started. As in, like, I was doing my BSMS, and ISA Pune offers this unique advantage of doing your own research. You can start working with some professors in their labs, and then you can get exposure towards like all the science, what's happening in the world. So yeah, like during that time, like I was mostly interested in interdisciplinary sciences, in focusing on like chemistry and biology. And I got a chance to work with like very great professor named Hota, Professor Srinivas Hota from the chemistry department. There I learned like a lot of chemistry skills, like, you know, how to synthesize a molecule. And I was working explicitly on like sugars. And then I also had a chance to work with Dr. Shobik Maiti in IJIB New Delhi, where I learned a lot of biology, like molecular biology, how to deal with the cells, and then like cell culture and all this stuff. As a BSMS student, learning those was very good for me, as like it's a huge advantage. And after finishing my BSMS in 2016, I moved to the Weizmann Institute in Israel as a PhD student, where I was learning a lot of MRI. I was always interested in interdisciplinary sciences, and I want to learn like a unique skill, which I chose to be like in the MRI field because it's very interesting and very innovative for me. And then I was working on a project which requires the skills from the chemistry and from the biology and dealing with animals, and then like MRI. That was like very good for me because I started synthesizing the probes, like MRI probes, and then like taking them to the animals. And then like after injecting them into the animals, then I taking into the MRI and then seeing the results. So yeah, my project revolves around there was like detecting the zinc in the animal brain. And especially like after I published my paper, Biopatrika invited me to give the like interview. But at the time I was busy in like transitioning from my PhD to postdoc. So I didn't give it. But still luckily it happening now, which is also good. Yeah, after finishing my PhD, I moved to MIT as a postdoctoral researcher. And there I was working in Department of Biological Engineering under guidance of Professor Alan Jesnov. I was there, I was doing mostly neuroscience and a lot of biology because I was interested in biology. But in my PhD, my sensors are chemicals. In my postdoc, my sensors to do some neuroscience was biological proteins. So yeah, and I was also on a fellowship there, like Human Frontiers Fellowship, which was another great thing happened. And yeah, I spent time as a postdoc at MIT for like a year. Yeah.
Okay, okay, yeah, no, that's very interesting. Yeah, very nice, like academic journey which you had from India to Israel and then to US. So that's great. I like while you were telling about your journey, you did mention some skills which you had gained during your PhD, your postdoc, as well as your BSMS. So. We would want to know that what are the different kinds of like some very important skills, both technical as well as soft skills, which you gained then is helping you now at your current role at Calico Life Sciences.
Yeah, currently I'm working as an imaging scientist, focusing with MRI in Calico. So as a MRI scientist, I need to know like how exactly MRI works and how exactly the principles behind the MRI works, and then a little bit of spin physics too. And we've been doing MRI on animals because I'm a preclinical imaging scientist. So I need to know like a little bit of biology behind it. The biggest skills which I acquired during my BSMS or like during my PhD or in the postdoc was like learning how MRI works was like the very important skill which I acquired during this whole journey. And then because of my chemistry and biology background, it's a very important, because when you look at any biological problem, you can target by using like some sort of sensors. So ideally, if you want to understand a little bit background behind it, you need to have a knowledge in like either like in chemistry or in biology. So the skills which I picked up during my BSMS and regarding the chemistry and biology, it really helped me. It's currently helping me in like in my current job. But yeah, like as I told, like right now it's MRI based job. So mostly using the skills which I acquired from PhD and the biology related to MRI. So these are the skills I can say, yeah, which I was currently using. And this was technical skills. Regarding the soft skills, that is gonna be like very important for any student. So first important soft skill for any student is like how to communicate and how to explain your data in a very professional way, and how to impact, like say the data, yes, this is my data and then this is going to impact on something. So first of all, I can say for anyone or any viewer, like help improve in your communication, as in like how you make your slides and how you're going to explain that to any audience to related to academia or in like industry. So that was very important. Communication, develop your communication skill. And this is also you can acquire in your PhD times, because you have a 5 years or 6 years time, and then that's a good amount of time, and you are working with one guide like as in your PhD mentor, so you can learn from them and then like use it in your future. Yeah,
Okay,
that's a
okay. No,
soft
that
skill.
that's great. Yeah, no, thank you so much, Nishant, for sharing that. It is definitely important to learn the skills which you are able to learn during your PhD and postdoc, and learn it to a like with all the foundations and like the basic information, and know it really well, because we are going to use it somewhere down the line throughout our life. So yes, yes, definitely. So that brings me more to your current role, which is you're working as an imaging scientist at Calico Life Sciences, which is great, and congratulations for your role.
Thank
Um,
you.
so, can you walk us through your entire application, interview, and hiring process, like the entire process which you had to go through in order to land into this job?
Yeah, it works for it varies from place to place, I can say. And then probably Biopatrika is doing interviews to different people who are in like who transition from like industry, sorry, academia to industry. or like academia to academia. So yeah, in my case, it was in a different way, as in like my experience with Calico was like really great during this whole application process, because Calico, it owned by the Google and Alphabet. So the interview process was like more transparent, as in like if they feel that yes, you're a right person, they try to hire you. So when I approached Calico, it was at the last year, and I just saw that the job was very interesting for me. And then I have a feeling that like I'm right fit to the job. So I filled up the application. It was just online, and then after filling that application, then first was like HR contacted me from the Calico. Like HR really thought that yeah, like I'm a right fit for this job, and then like she contacted me, and I had like 30 minutes conversation with her, and where she asked me like all my visa and current visa status and what exactly is happening, why I want to transition, and all the good questions. And after finishing that, then she thought that I'm a right fit, and then she passed my CV to the hiring manager. And then the hiring manager also looked at it, and then like he really liked it, and he offered me like he wants to talk to me. And we had like 1 hour conversation, and he asked me like what all skills I know, and then like what they want me to do, and what kind of projects might come in the company. And then like yeah, it was like sort of interview, but like very good conversation. I had it. I can say that it's a balance of both. After that, Calico has a different style. Like they want me to give one exam. So what I did was like they tested all my basic knowledge behind MRI. So they gave me the exam, like they gave me one imaging data set, and then they asked like what kind of MRI they used, what sort of sequence they used, and what kind of coils they used, and all the stuff. So as I told like before, like learning from the basics is very important. So I because I have like a knowledge behind all that stuff, and it helped me to answer that questions properly. And after that, I was selected for the on-site interview. So they brought me up to San Francisco, and then on-site interview was also very interesting. First, I presented my whole PhD and postdoc work. After that, yeah, like it was one-to-one discussions, and then after that, like one-to-one interviews. So that was like a full day process, but I thoroughly enjoyed the process. So that was my whole interview process happened at Calico.
Okay, okay. No, quite extensive process, I must say. And it's great that Calico Life Sciences does this very transparently, like keeping you in loop with everything that they are doing. So, no, that's great. And you definitely nailed your interview. And so you are now at Calico working there. So that's great. Congratulations once again. So, Nishant, you did mention that when the HR contacted you, like at the very beginning, she had several questions, among which one question was, "What is your visa status?" So, I know that since you are from India, you are definitely an international student here in the US, and you come here with a particular visa status. So can you like highlight very briefly about what status were you in when you came here as a postdoc, and then what are you now on, and how did that transition happen? So if you can talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, currently I am on O visa, which is outstanding and extraordinary ability visa for the USA. So when I came here as a postdoc, I am on the J visa. So J visa, I think it's a common visa offered by any US institutes for the postdoctoral people like who wants to come to do the postdoc in USA. This visa is so great because it don't need like higher evaluations and all, but you will if the university applies, you will definitely get it. But the downside of it was like you have this home residency rule requirement, so you need to go back to your home country after you finish this visa for like 2 years, and then you need to come back. So in my case, it happened in a very weird way because although I'm an Indian citizen, I got my visa stamping from Israel. And Israel, I think for Israel citizens, this rule was not applied or so. So in my visa stamping, it was shown that I was not subjected. But that is not true. Like how I learned was like by losing one job. So when I applied for when I started looking for the jobs, I was offered a job from Frederick National Laboratory as an imaging scientist. So that is a very great job, and I want to go to the academic that job, but still like they cannot get my H1B done because I am subjected to this rule because of my Indian citizenship. So that's fine. That's how it happened. But in my case, like on the side, I also have like Calico job processes happening. So when I was giving this HR interview, like HR asked me and I explained the situation, and then she told that like yeah they will go with like O visa. So for any student or like for any viewer, like one thing I can say was like like when you are looking for the job, this visa stuff is very important because many of us are like equally talented and then equally like good as an American citizen, but we tend to lose the jobs because of our visa status, which is very which is like sad for us.
Yes.
But we cannot do anything, right? And I suggest to every person when they're applying for the jobs, look for the companies who are like mediocre to big, because they can take a chance that like for the sponsorship, which is very important for us. And then or look for the jobs where you are like exactly fit, as in like some startups also do the visa sponsorship, but they will do it only to the person who they think that it's an exact fit. So don't try to go in like middle, because you will lose the confidence during this whole process, because it's a hectic process, this whole visa thing. So yeah, like if you aim for like mediocre to big companies who try to hire the good talent, and they will definitely will give you the visa sponsorship. And for the J visa people, I think O visa is a very good choice. If your profile is enough, because your profile also need to be good enough to get this visa thing done.
Mhm.
And then yeah, like I was yeah, like I'm on the I would transition from J visa to O visa, and then like yeah, everything was like that. But yeah, for any person who are applying to this, these are the suggestions I can say. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, no, that's really helpful because I myself am on J visa, which is J1, and I am aware, like I'm guessing like anybody who is on J1 is aware of the 2 year home residency requirement and the downside of it. So yeah, this is really helpful to people who are looking to come for a postdoc in the US are still not here to know about like the positive and the negatives of each and every visa category and decide accordingly. So that's really helpful. Thank you, Nishant. Okay, so then that brings me to the like the fun side of I'm curious to know what do you do in your spare time or when you take out some time from your busy schedule and you want some time for yourself. So what are the different kinds of activities which you love doing? If you
Yeah,
can share some.
in during my whole academic journey, it was like like we are all on like constant what is it, like not a pressure I can say, like we want to get our experiments running, and then we will be facing a lot of negativity by the negative results. Yes. So I build up a habit of having like exercise routine in my schedule every day, at least for like 1.5 to 2 hours. So whatever happens, so I just end up at the gym in the evenings and then try to be like do some sort of physical activity. It really helps me to deal with my stress. And also like I play a lot of badminton. And then yeah, like I need to find out like some badminton clubs around, and then like I go there and play sometimes. And yeah, like when the climate is good, and then I also like to go for like walking and stuff like that. And yeah, like sometimes I also read some books. So this was the things I do during my free time. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, no, that sounds fun. Yes, of course. I think everybody should have their own me time when you
Yeah.
like, you do your things which you love doing and which keeps us sane
Mm.
amongst all the experiments and everything which we keep doing. So that's great. And so that kind of like I'm sure that we as internationals staying in a foreign country, we often do miss our family and friends, and we try to, like catch up with them over phone calls or if possible in person, but otherwise on phone calls. So, uh, like, who are the people you would say have played really important roles in terms of shaping you in where you are now, like as mentors, as friends, or like how important networking is in general? So if you can like talk like your perspective on that.
Yeah, for any person, I think like networking is very important these days, either in academia or in industry, because like everything works behind networking these days, and it changed like that, and it's very important too. Yeah, in my case, like yeah, the biggest people who played a crucial role in me to be like this was like my mentors, like my PhD mentor and also like my BSMS mentors. So yeah, like because I really learned a lot of soft skills and then like scientific skills from them. And yeah, like as I told it in my last questions, like if you want to pick up like some sort of soft skills, like you need to use ask your PhD advisors or like your some sort of advisors in your life point. You can learn from them because they saw a lot of things and then they know what is what. So in my case, yes, like my PhD advisor really played a huge role. So he taught me like how to achieve things and then how to present and then like how to explain myself, and that was a very good thing. And then regarding the industry jobs, yes, networking is very important for any student like who are applying for like any industry jobs. I recommend them to like go to some events happening around you. Like imagine when I was at MIT, like there was always like biotech clubs happening, and also some events by the like different industries are happening there. So I would just show up there and then like to learn what's happening in their company, and also like if possible, like you should not if possible, I think you should put an effort to talk to that people and then make a contact, because if you randomly send a LinkedIn request to someone who you don't know, probably they accept it or they don't accept it, but it's not going to change anything because they're not going to message you because they don't know anything about you, right? So I recommend that like yeah, like show up to this sort of events happening, and I'm sure this events happens like in all the places. So go there and then like show up and then talk to them and make like a network. Who knows, right? Like at the, they might have some sort of opening and they're looking for a person like you. And if you come there, you may be right fit. And yeah, things might work up. And yeah, networking is very important these days. And yeah, I suggest to people to do that.
Yeah, yeah, no, no. I completely agree with what you're saying, Nishant, and especially I'm also a person who is a postdoc, and I'm really interested in transitioning to the industry. So since the past 1 or 1.5 years, this is something which I've really learned, that the more I go to different career events and talk to people out there, try to share, like know their work as well as share what I am doing, build a connection. I think it's opening up doors for me as well. So it's very, very important for everybody who is looking for a job, either in academia or in industries. It's the same.
Yeah.
So yeah, networking is the key. And so yeah, that it's been great talking to you so far, and that brings us to our last conversation about if you could tell us something, like 1 or 2 examples which you felt is similar, and 1 and 2 examples which you felt was different between the work culture of academia versus now in industries. We can,
Yeah.
that'll be great. Yeah.
So the main difference I noticed in the academia and industry is like in academia, it's like you have a lot of independence, as in like you will be dealing with like 1 or 2 main projects, and then you're trying to solve those problems. In the process, like you have a lot of time and then you do a lot of experiments and then you learn different stuff and you try to solve that problem. That was giving you like independence, right? Like you can do whatever you want. That's the very great thing in academia. And of course like it comes with other parameters, like, you need to work under a guide, and then like all the things. But that was the biggest advantage in academia. You have your own independence. But in industry, it works the other way around, because you already have like some set of problems which is related to industry. Imagine, like in our industry, we focus on aging problems. So we need to look at like some sort of disease models or some sort of things. So we need to adjust accordingly. Like, I work with like different imaging techniques. And then like when I was doing in academia, like I was mostly focusing on the brain all the time. But in industry right now, like I'm focusing on different tissues in the animal, like, brain, kidneys, cardiac, like heart, and also liver, these tissues. So this was very good for me, because instead of like going like one tissue and the one imaging technique, I was mostly focused on like different things. So I'm learning like different new techniques and then like new things, which was great for me for the industry side. So for me it worked, but like for other companies it might be different, I don't know. But still, like that was the one of the advantages from the both perspective view. And another advantage and then disadvantage I can say was like, if you want to have like your personal life started and all, it gets challenging in academia financially because of the salaries. But yeah, many people are managing, and then if it works for them, that's fantastic. Yeah, if you want to have like some sort of personal life, as in like if financially decently settled, so industries are a good choice, because they pay you good wages, and then like you are sort of like secured, as in like you can live normal life and all. So that was the one of the disadvantage in academia towards like advantage in industry. In my view, it might be different from different people's view. So that's what I can say. And then yeah, like in industry, one of the advantage you get was like you tend to meet very different people. Like, like you have like so many meetings happening, you have like so many collaborators coming, and then you will be talking with them, and then you will be building connections like scientifically, and also like you will be building connections like, networking wise, because they are coming from different companies, they work with like different companies, so they know these people, that people and all. But in academia, like you will be stick to your problem and your lab. And of course, if you're in a very good lab, you will be collaborating with other labs, that's a good too. So it's like a balance, I believe, like what is what, where you want to go. If the people who wants to do like really good independent research, and they feel that they're really potential, and then they can do that, I highly recommend them to go to the academia. Yes, like the postdoc journey was rough because of the financial stuff, and then you with all these inflations going on, and then yes, trust towards like applications and all, that is always there. But if you want to have like normal, like like routine life and stuff like that, and then if you don't want to be like an academic person, yeah, like industries are like another great choice. But yeah, like every place has its own advantages and disadvantages, which I mentioned. So yeah, like it depends completely on the people choices.
Yeah, yeah. No, no, absolutely. I think I definitely agree with each and every point which you mentioned. So, no, that was great, and I got to learn a lot of new things talking to you today, Nishant, and I'm very sure that all our viewers will also get benefited going through your journey. So, thank you once again. I know it's life is busy. We all of us keep working, but then taking out time and talking to us has been great. So thanks
Thanks,
a lot,
Shani. Thanks
Nishan.
for the
Yeah.
invite. And I really enjoyed talking with you, and from the background like Biopatrika. And I hope this conversation is helpful to someone. And if anyone wants to contact me, I'm happy to help in any regards.
Oh, that's fantastic. Thank you so much, Nishant.
Thanks,
All
Shani.
right, then we'll see you off, and thank you once again.